Happy Tie-Dye Friday. It's Tie-Dye Friday at Lily Clinic. We love Tie-Dye Friday. Add a splash of color to your life. Smile a little bit more. We made it through the week. We are good to go. I saw this question um, last night, and it kind of made me realize I don't think I've ever discussed scars at all. And scars are a big part of lymphedema treatment, lymphedema management. It's important to know about scars. The question was essentially, it sounds like this individual has this incision from her belly button to the side of her hip, which is a quarter of her body when you think about it. And she's asking if this could be part of the problem why her lymphatic system is not draining properly. The answer is potentially, absolutely, it could be. Let's look at some scars. These are knee replacement scars. A lot of people have those. If you look at them, they're vertical. Okay? What she's talking about is not a vertical scar. Let's look at something that is like what I think she's talking about. So here is an abdomen, and the belly button's right over here, but you can see this long horizontal scar going from about the belly button to the side of the hip. This is horizontal. Let's look at a photo that somebody wanted me to post, so here's your chance to screenshot it. Again, this is from Sigvaris. This is a patient education handout. You could screenshot that so you could zoom in, but this outlines the lymphatic system in a not real detailed way, but a very helpful way, I think. But if you look at the vessels of the lymphatic system, which is what they're showing here, these green vessels, you notice these vessels are going south to north with some longitudinal, right? Um, that knee scar, when you think about it, is vertical. Your lymphatic system is also pretty much, the deep lymphatics are going vertical. They're going straight up. So the scarring of the knee, if it was horizontal, would have a lot more impact on the lower leg. But because it's vertical, it's not kind of creating a wall, so to speak. If you think of up here, you have all these lymphatics, and the lymphatics coming out of the leg go through the, not the pelvis, but the inguinal lymph nodes and into the abdomen, and they're pretty deep there. But you also have superficial lymphatics. So your lymphatic system is kind of like a tree. If you think of it like a tree, the leaves at the top are just in the surface of your skin, and then the smaller branches are a little bit deeper until you get to the trunks. Well, if you have a scar that's going straight across there, those leaves can't collect fluid like they would if there was no scar, or move that fluid through that scar. We know that a scar is kind of like a wall, and the thicker and more dense that scar is, the more that it's going to impede that lymphatic flow. Your scars are developing for about 6 months, especially deeper scars, after the incision is made. So even though it looks healed, scar tissue is still forming. And what we know about scar tissue, and if you have scars, you could feel it, it's very dense. It's very thick. When we're in the womb, we have time. Our body has time to make this beautiful matrix of skin. But when there's an injury, whether it's intentional from an incision of surgery or not, the body is trying to heal at a very rapid rate because it's a risk to our body. So skin is forming very quickly. So it's not as pretty. It's thick, it's gnarly. The job is to close the wound. And what happens with scar tissue is not only it kind of raised on the surface of the skin, but it's also deep. You could kind of think of it like an iceberg. You see the surface, but man, there's a lot going on underneath. And those lymphatic vessels, especially those vessels that are a scar that's a horizontal scar, trying to get through that, has a hard time. But what we know is if you're able to soften that scar, then you're having more success with moving that lymphatic system. How do you soften a scar? Scar massage techniques. Nice lotion, cocoa butter, whatever. And you just go across the scar. You can look this up. It's very simple. Scar massage. Circles counterclockwise, clockwise, cross friction. You kind of roll it a little bit. And as the scar continues to age, it also continues to soften. If you have a very dense, thick, gnarly scar, then that might not be possible depending on how old it is. And there might be some blockage because of that scar. But manual lymphatic drainage, we do have the ability to reroute and move that fluid around that scar or move it to other areas where there's lymphatics that will take it up. So let's go back to this other photo. If this individual, and I don't know what this incision is from, but if say there's some sort of cervical cancer and they went in and they took lymph nodes out, I think the incision's a little high, but this is just for reference. And she was having fluid pocket right underneath this scar. What I would do as a therapist is probably direct through manual lymphatic drainage to the other side, to the other inguinal lymph nodes, so that fluid then could be taken up. Why? Our body has watersheds or boundaries, just like the Chesapeake Bay watershed or the Gulf of Mexico. All the drainage is going in a certain direction, but we can manipulate that. So when you think the body is broken straight down the middle, if we're able to cross that midline through manual lymphatic drainage, that fluid will start to then get sucked up, if you will, absorbed or collected by the lymphatic vessels there and then removed through the deep lymphatics. So 100% the scar can be causing some lymphatic drainage issues, but there's some literal workarounds. So if I was you, I would try to, if you're not with a therapist, try to learn some manual lymphatic drainage techniques. I would stay away from vibration. I would stay away from um, any of that other stuff. I don't want to get into it, but if you learn manual lymphatic drainage techniques to mobilize that fluid, you could probably have good success with feeling decongested. And if you have some swelling in the tissue, you probably notice that it will go away with the right techniques. I hope this information is helpful and I hope it answers your question. Happy Tie-Dye Friday.